Whoop! This is a 5.5-inch quad that has dual functionality, freestyling and mid to long-range cinematic flying. Equipped with the DJI O3 air unit, ELRS receiver that's true diversity, and a GPS system, you don't have to worry about losing signal. The longer arms, the bigger motors, and the bigger props that you're gonna use will allow you to carry a full-size GoPro without any qualms. Slap a LiPo to get 4 to 6 minutes of mid-range freestyle. Slap a lithium ion to get those longer flight times for those long-range flying, alright? To know what goes into this build, watch part 1, click on the card. This is part 2, where we will build this quad. Sit back and relax. This is Luma55. Let's get it. What is up, FPV fam? It's your boy dopeyfpv and welcome back to my channel. Alright, this is part 2 of my build series where we will assemble and do a components blocking of the Luma55. So it's part 2.1 and 2.2. Because it's so long, 2.3 and so forth will be in another separate video. Alright, with that said, let's get down to frame assembly. Dig cam activate! Alright guys, welcome to my tabletop. So now I've already unpacked the parts that were in the plastic of the Luma55. So what you have is the mid plate, the bottom plate, and of course the top plate, and you have 4 arms. That's it. That's the only carbon in this build. It's so simple, so clean, I guess. Only 4 components to it, and then there's of course the screws here, which came in 3 different compartments, so I have separated them the same way. And of course you need your hex drivers. Okay, so this is the mid plate because it has a notch here, so you can see this notch represents the mid plate. And let's put everything aside first. So you take the mid plate, and what you want to do is take these press nuts. Just take 8 of them, and yeah, they gave you 1 extra, so that'll be for later. You can keep it as a spare. So the press nuts will go into the 4 side holes and the 4 inner holes. Okay, so that's 8. So how do you put these press nuts on? Usually people will just take a hammer and hammer away so it goes in, but sometimes it might not be clean, and once it's in, it's very hard to take it out. So what you do is just take a washer, put the washer through the screw, and then put the screw in and the press nut on the other side. Okay, so what you do is just you screw it in until the press nut comes into the hole naturally. Of course, if you use a shorter screw, it will be faster, but yeah, I'm too lazy to find my screws. Goes all the way in, and the washer is just there to protect. Tighten it. You can see the press nut is slowly going in, and in this way, you know that the press nut will be flush, even into the hole. If you hammer it, it might be a little bit crooked and all that, so it's best to do this way for a cleaner installation of the press nuts. Let me just show you. Yeah, see? I don't know whether you can see it because this is just a GoPro. It might not focus, but it's cleanly flush inside the holes. So do not hammer your press nuts. This will apply to all your future builds, okay? Press nuts, screw it on instead of forcing it in. Alright guys, I'm down to my last press nut. Of course, this is a more tedious way of doing it, but it's the cleaner way. Hammering it will be the shortcut method, but it might go wrong. and then you have to spend more time actually taking the press nuts out and redoing everything. So you want to do it right the first time, and this is the only right way. So yeah, even though it's tedious, just enjoy the process, guys. Enjoy the process. Right. So that's it. I got my press nuts on. See the back, it's all clean, flushed. All right, so the next step is to go into your TPU ziplock, and maybe you'll find, yep, this another smaller ziplock with 4 gummies. Take them out, plastic back in, and each of these gummy will go into the remaining 4 bigger holes on the mid plate. Okay, so gummies is like a necky thing. You just have to slowly squeeze it in, and usually I will use sharper tweezers, but it's in my other tool bag inside my car. So any tweezers will do, as long as you can just push the bottom part in to the other side, you're good to go. And then once they are like that, you just like slowly rub it and get everything out nice and clean, just like that. Okay, so one side is done. I'm gonna do all the other 3 sides. Okay guys, so yeah, all 4 gummies are in. So this part, the mid plate, is pretty much done for now. Now get the bottom plate, and what you want to do is actually take this 8 of these 12 mm screws, and this will go into the 4 holes at the sides and the 4 holes in the middle. Okay, so just put it in, make sure it's all the same size. These are in the same compartment as the press nuts, so you can go wrong. There's just 8 of them. For the gummies, there's actually like 1 extra, so just put it aside, keep it as a spare, do not throw it away. So just like that, put all the screws in, all 8 of them, and just turn them over. Oh. Turn them over quickly and lay it down on your table like that. And this is where the arms come in. So all the arms are the same. It's similar, different, same size and same shape. So what you want to do, oh wait, let me just, okay, is just align them properly so that the straight end here will meet each other. Okay, okay, just like that. Okay, remember all the straight parts, the straight sides, straight longer sides will meet each other in the middle. Yeah, that's it. That's how you install the arms to the bottom plate. Okay, so once you get your arms on, it's time to put the middle plate on it. So yeah, make sure you go in the right way, where the part that is flush with the carbon is facing down. So when you screw it in, it's flush and not on this side. Okay, so remember, this is the mid plate, so it goes here, it extends out instead of here. Okay, so just put it on lightly like that, and now this is the tricky part where you have to turn everything around so you can screw it in. Okay, it doesn't matter if like the screws come out, you can just put it back in. And now you just have to lightly screw everything together before tightening it. So remember, always go opposite sides so that everything, all the force is distributed evenly. So once everything is in place, you see the arms nicely positioned. Now it's time to tighten it. Like I say, if you wish to, you can put on Loctite, but usually I don't. So just screw on everything tightly. Still remember the rule, opposite sides. You don't have to like really tighten it until you like your veins come out, just enough until it doesn't move anymore with a firm twist. Okay, so that's it. Now you can see already the shape of the frame. Next, you have to take out four 10 mm screws. This is in the other pile. First pile is done. This is the second pile with all the standoffs. And take out four washers from the same pile. These are M3 washers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and from the TPU bag, take out the front bumper. Okay, guys, this is the front bumper. Took me a while to find it. Let's put everything back in. Let's keep it neat. 4 times 10 screws, M3 washers, and the front bumper. So of course the washers will all go inside the screw first. And yeah, now take the frame. This will be the front. Remember the notch is at the back. So the front bumper goes here. And just put the screws in. It's not going to be tight because there's no nut on the other side. Just make sure it all goes through properly. Just like that. And there you have it. The front bumper is installed. Okay, once you flip it, now you take standoffs. Which standoffs? It's the 28 mm standoffs. Okay, 28 will be the longer one, I suppose. 48, yep. And just screw it on. Okay, so front standoffs are in. So what's next is you go to your TPU bag again and find the camera mount. Okay, so if you go through the TPU bag, you'll find 3 pairs of camera mounts. So this depends on what camera you're using. I have no idea yet the DJI cam uses which one, but I'm guessing it's the widest one because this one has no protector. Like there's nothing protruding out to protect the cameras. So it's between these two, and this pair actually has this part of it going inwards. So maybe it's for the smaller cameras. And I know DJI cam is like 20 mm, I think. So this is the wider one. I'll just put it here, but I'll save this for later because I'm not too sure yet. Once I take out my camera, then I'll put it on. Let's move on to the back plate where we will take 2 screws that are 8 mm. So the 8 mm screws goes at the back together with the shorter standoff. Okay, so that's the rear standoff. Just put it like that. Now you have to go through the TPU bag again and find the antenna mount. And this time there's okay, cool. There's 2 antenna mounts, one with a single antenna and one with a double antenna. So it depends on which one you want to use. I'm just gonna use a single one because I don't have 2 antennas on my DJI. Just slide this on into the back, standoff, and that's it. So this goes in the front, this goes in the back, and now you go to the other stack, other pile of screws. This will be your stack screws. So there's the M3 one and there's the M2 one, I think. So you have to check with your stack which one you're using. Okay, so for me, the Diatone Mamba one, it's using the M3. I have to put gummies inside, then it will fit. But this goes through here. Slowly put inside, slide it in so you don't damage the gummies. Do not force it in, just gently penetrate the gummies. And if it's hard, just give it a little twist and then it'll just go in nicely. I do not want to risk it and tear the gummies, so I'm just going to screw it all the way in instead of just pushing it. Okay guys, so the stack mount is already in. All the screws are in, 20 by 20. Remember, this frame only supports 20 by 20 stack. Now I got everything on except for the camera mount, which I'll put on later. The only thing that's left is the top plate, which, yeah, goes something like that. So that's it. I shall not screw it on because I still need to put my components. But this is the end of the frame assembly. It's a simple frame. It's just three main parts: the top plate, the middle plate, the bottom plate, and the arms. That's it. It's a really simple build. So strap goes here, battery goes on top. Oh, and yeah, so if you are mounting a GoPro, they also provided a finger mount for your GoPro, which goes here, and they also provide the screw that goes here. All right, so that's a pretty easy build, and it's so clean. Let me test. Like, does it move? Oh no, it's stuck there nicely. But yeah, that's the frame assembly, the Luma55. I hope you learn a thing or two about building if you're a beginner, how to put on the press nuts and so on. So let's move on to the next part. Alright guys, so now that the frame assembly is done, you can put your top plate aside and all your other TPU stuff aside first, because now what I like to do is usually I call it blocking. That's when you just roughly put all your components so you know that everything goes where and the positioning is good before you install everything properly. I have a change of mind because my motos arrived. These are the 2506 1500 kV motos from iFlight. This is their Zing lineup. I decided to use this because it will be more efficient and the stator size is better for a larger frame. So this is the 5.5 inch. I decided to use 2506. It came just in time. So if you watch part 1, I said I'm going to use the Velox V3. That's going to be in another build because another frame just arrived. So I'm going to use it purely for a 5-inch frame since it's a smaller stator size and the KV is higher. And this is meant for mild freestyle and cinematic flying. I'm going to use this moto instead. So stay tuned for that build video that I'm going to do with the Volador Dead Cat 5-inch together with the Velox V3. Okay, so I'm going to use these motos. I'm going to put it aside first. And yeah, in part 1, I didn't mention about the GPS. I mean, I didn't show you guys the GPS that I'm going to use. So it just arrived in the mail too. This is the Flyfish RC M10 Mini GPS. So it comes with the wires and also a battery strap. So you can just put it on top of your battery where it is usually the highest point of your quad. And this is the GPS itself. It's so tiny. Yeah, so usually my quads don't have GPS, but since I'm making a mid-range quad, a GPS is a must. And finally, I'm gonna dwell into Betaflight 4.4 and test out the new talk about GPS rescue that lands the quad for you. So yeah, like I said, now is the blocking part where I'll just roughly position everything and see whether it all goes into place nicely. So usually the stack just goes like that. And I'm gonna open this up. Brand new DJI O3 air unit. So the air unit usually will be the flat side will be at the bottom. That's how I prefer it. So it's flush with the frame. Let's see whether this fits okay. Okay, so now this Reactor 66 ESC has a slight protrusion here, which takes more space, and there's no space for the DJI O3 now. So I have to change how I position it, and I guess that will go in front. So this is what I mean about blocking. You have to check if everything can go into your frame nicely. So I have to go backwards This goes here. Let me just put this in. I have no choice but to swap it around. Or maybe I can put it at the side. We'll see. This goes here. Does it fit now with the wires? Oh, it's a bit tight because this ESC is big. Alright, so this just doesn't cut it, but fret not. You can always mount it sideways. Okay, so this just means your battery leads are going through the side, and this can just go like this. You can change all this orientation later on beta flight, but let's see whether I can put this. I can still put the FC the proper way. I just need a longer cable to go to the connectors. And yeah, I guess this is a better, yep, this will be the final position. So the camera goes here, and let's see now that we are at this step whether the camera mount is this one. Yep, so this one with the this thing going straight and not inwards is the mount that you're gonna use if you're gonna use DJI camera. Okay, so yeah, this is what I mean by blocking. Again, DJI stack, and now I know my orientation for the ESC will be sideways. And next will be my receiver. Let's see whether my antennas can reach the front and back. So usually for the receiver, you just heat shrink it, and you can just double side tape it to the top or something. But now I want my antennas at the back and at the front. Let's see whether that's possible with this frame. Right, that's enough. Camera will go here. I will try to print a mount so that maybe, I don't know, it depends on my laziness level whether I want to print something or just cable tie it to the front, and one of this will go to the back where this place the TPU mount is already provided by Luma. And yeah, that is the blocking part of it settled. Let's just check whether Diatone has a longer cable for me. Usually they provide one shorter one and one longer one. I hope so. If there is a longer one, then my work is cut out. Come on, man. This be long enough. Just gonna take this out first. It's longer. Yep. Nice. So you'll go like that. FC is still facing the right way, so there's no need to change the position of that. Only the ESC is facing it sideways, but you can just reorder the motors later on. My DJI O3 Air unit goes here. The antenna will go inside. The ELRS will go like this. So one can go to the back, one can go to the front. Camera mount has been sorted out. And let's say if I put the top plate here, is everything nice and dandy? Enough space for battery straps. And yeah, all good. Positioning is good. Blocking is done. Now we will remove everything and install everything properly. First, I'm going to screw in the motors, and I did not mention the frame assembly that Luma Quad provided arm guards, so you can use this. Let's put it here, slide it in, install your motors, and they also provided one more thing. This thing, it's in black. These are wire protectors that you put on top of your arms, and the wires just run through below, and it protects your wire from lifting up and you fly and then your propeller's hitting it. So it's just an added layer of protection. But yeah, blocking is done. I'm going to put on the motors. There's nothing to teach on the motors. It's just simply screw it on. Remember, always block before you want to fix on everything, because sometimes things might not properly fall in place, like just now when I put the ESC the proper way. My DJI O3 air unit didn't fit in, so always block so you know where everything is supposed to go, and then you install it properly. You don't want to do it like, let's say if you have the motors already soldered to the ESC and then you put on the O3 air unit and it doesn't fit, you have to desolder and take everything back out. So like I say, always do it right the first time and you're good to go. Let's go to the next part: motors, stacks, and all the other shit. Let's go!